Yo, what's up, everybody? And this is your host, Azlan Williams, and this is the Spell Basketball Show. Glad you can make it today. Today, we are talking about the finals preview between your Western Conference champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and your Eastern Conference champions, who I actually picked to come out the East this year, the Indiana Pacers. Now, in the West, the Oklahoma City did sweep the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round, 4-0. Then they moved on. They moved on to beat my Denver Nuggets in 7 games. It's okay. There was a lot going on in Denver this year, but they defeated the Denver Nuggets in 7 games, and then they moved on to the Western Conference Finals where they faced the hungry Minnesota Timberwolves, and Oklahoma City pretty much dominated them, winning that series in 5 games as well. Now, over to the East. Again, after watching the first couple games in the Eastern Conference when the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers were playing, I thought to myself, and I have witnesses too, so if you don't believe me, go ask them. But I thought to myself, if Indiana continues to play like this, they will come out of the East. I believe that they could come out of the East. And that they did. I mean, they ran through Milwaukee 5-1, especially after Damian Lillard went down with the Achilles tear. Still prayers out to Damian Lillard for that and his recovery process. He looks like he's living life. He's been definitely supporting the WNBA, going to the games with his daughter. And so, again, prayers for Damian Lillard for that. But then they moved on to the next round where they faced the number 1 seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they beat them in 5 games. Now, again, Cleveland did have some injuries. I know Darius Garland did miss the first 2 games of that series with that toe injury. But still, if you're out there, you got to play. And they did their best. Donovan Mitchell was dealing with the ankle injury. Evan Mobley and DeAndre Hunter missed a game. But still, Indiana dominated that series as well, winning that game in 5. Now, to the New York Knicks, which is a rekindled rivalry between the Knicks and the Pacers, which everybody was so excited to see. The Knicks fought through, they fought and battled. They beat Detroit in 6 games. They beat the Boston Celtics, the reigning champions, in 6 games. And, that was after Jason Tatum went down after rupturing his Achilles. But even then, prior to that injury, the Knicks were still going to be up 3-1 due to that, because Tatum's injury did happen later in the game when the game was pretty much over and New York had the game under control. But the New York Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, beating the Celtics in 6, and then falling to the Indiana Pacers in 6 games after an amazing series, a very close series at that, and an amazing game 1. I said the game of the year with Tyrese Haliburton hitting that. Oh my goodness, I had never seen a buzzer beater like that before. And so, the Knicks are down 14, or not the Knicks, the Pacers are down 14. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Aaron Nesmith goes bananas, hitting 5 threes in a row. Having 20 points in that fourth quarter, and then Tyrese Haliburton, to top it off, hits a step back jump shot, from which it was a jump shot. He thought it was a 3, which we all did, and then come to find out, had the Kevin Durant syndrome with his toe on the line, but hits a 3 where it bounces off the back iron, goes way up, touches the rafters in Madison Square Garden, and goes right back in the hoop to tie the game, just to send it into overtime. And the famous choke signal that Reggie Miller did over 25 years ago, Tyrese Haliburton does it just to find out that they got to play 5 more minutes. So that was a little frustrating for him. But Indiana deflated the Garden as well as the series. Couldn't come back from that. And Indiana defeats the New York Knicks in 6 games. All right. So our predictions moving forward for the NBA Finals between Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers. In the regular season, Oklahoma City did beat the Pacers and swept the Pacers 2-0. Now, the matchup between Tyrese Haliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who also is this year's MVP, very well deserved for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Congrats on that. Also, the Western Conference Finals MVP. Shai had an amazing year, averaging about 33 points a game this year. Was also the scoring leader for the NBA. So, he racked up a lot of awards: scoring leader, MVP, and finals, Western Conference Finals MVP. So, although Indiana is how I like to put it is Indiana is a very awkward team for a lot of different teams. Indiana likes to play fast. They're one of the fastest paced teams in the NBA this year. And so, My trust in Indiana this year also dates back to last year in the playoffs, where Indiana did make it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Although they were blasted by Boston, all of those games for the most part, I believe it was maybe one game that was not close in that Indiana Boston series in the finals, Eastern Conference Finals last year. Also, Tyrese Haliburton was not playing in that series due to a hamstring injury. So dating back to last year, Tyrese Haliburton was a clutch player last year. He was a clutch player this year, throughout this entire playoffs, and so that's where my faith in Indiana lied coming out of the East. They're a tough team. They play well with each other. They've been around each other for quite a while, and so I again, that's why I picked Indiana to come out of the East this year. But with this series, Oklahoma City's defense all playoffs has just been amazing. I don't know any other way to put it, but amazing. That three-headed trio defensively of Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, and Cason Wallace is just giving so many people problems. That's why Oklahoma City has been able to switch off majority of the playoffs on, we go back to, John Morant was hurt in that Memphis Grizzlies series, Oklahoma City and Memphis Grizzlies, but we go back to that Nuggets series where, it was hard for Murray to get any switch offs because all the switch offs were dog defenders. Like I said, Caruso, Dort, and Wallace. And Wallace was playing Jamal Murray full court. And so when I look at this series coming up, I defense is gonna win this championship. I think Indiana could definitely match Oklahoma City offensively, with as fast pace as Indiana likes to play. Pascal Siakam, who was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, played very well, and he won that by one vote over Tyrese Haliburton. Both deserved it, but Pascal's been playing well. Already has a championship in Toronto back in 2019. And so, with his veteran leadership going into this final, somebody who's been there before, helping lead the younger guys, Tyrese Haliburton, Aaron Neesmith, um, Miles Turner, people who haven't been in this position championship wise before, definitely is a great addition to that Indiana Pacers team. And Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton, they complement each other very well with their style of play. Pascal is one of the most underrated players, in the NBA. He can defend, he can definitely score the ball, has a decent jump shot, and so look for him to be an X factor. But for the Indiana Pacers in this series, the X factor is definitely going to be Miles Turner. All right, now Miles Turner has had a great and playoffs for his first time being this far, going to the finals and everything. But he's gonna have to show up in this series. You can have Hardenstein and you're gonna have Chet Holmgren guarding him for majority of the time, but I think Miles Turner can definitely stretch the floor out a lot more, where he can knock down that three a little bit when he gets open shots. He's gonna have to take it. He's gonna have to bang down on the post a little bit more in this series, I think so. But my X factor for the Indiana Pacers in this series is definitely going to be Miles Turner. Now for the Oklahoma City Thunder, talking about them, bringing them up. They just need to keep playing the way they've been playing. I mean, Alex Caruso has had an amazing playoffs, not only defensively, but averaging close to around 10 points a game in this playoffs. And so Alex Caruso is going to be a definite, continue to be an X factor. I think mainly, though, the X factor that, is going to have to show up in order for Oklahoma City to win. Jalen Williams, J Dub, cannot have any off games. When he did have off games in the semifinals against Denver, Denver took advantage of that, and thus why Denver was able to take Oklahoma City to 7 games. And so Oklahoma City has been dominant all year long. The matchup between Haliburton and getting back to that, between Haliburton and Shai. Haliburton was averaging 11 points in the 2 games that they played, and Shai was averaging 38. So the games against the Pacers this year, Shai's been averaging 38 points a game. And so that's just who Shai is. He's, to me, in my opinion, the best scorer in the league. A lot of people keep bringing up this free throw thing, but just let it die. Like, it's because at the end of the day, you can get to the free throw line, but if you don't make them, then what's the point in getting it? So Shai's, as I was talking to my uncle about this. Not only is Shai a great player, but he's very opportunistic as well. And so He makes the most of his opportunities, whether it's a foul, whether it's not. He's making the most of his opportunities that he gets, which that's what a great player does. And so this series is going to be very interesting. Again, Indiana's just an awkward team for a lot of different teams in the NBA, but I do have Oklahoma City Thunder winning this series. I'm gonna go 6, just because of the way Indiana's been playing, and we just don't know, Pacers playoff team versus regular season team is completely different. It's almost like a night and day difference. But we'll see what happens with that. But again, X factors in this series: Jalen Williams, number 8, Jalen Williams, for the Thunder, and then of course Miles Turner. Definitely, I believe Siakam's gonna show up. He's just a mismatch for a lot of different teams with his length, his ability to put the ball on the ground, his ability to shoot, his ability to post up. And he's just a very well-rounded player. And so, but yeah, Miles Turner is definitely going to have to show up in this series, and I believe that is what will happen. But my overall prediction for this is Oklahoma City in 6 games. I do believe that the Thunder will capture their first title as the Thunder franchise. And that's just how I have it. I do think Indiana, they're just a tough team, so they're gonna come, they're gonna play hard, they're gonna give it all they got. But just the way the Thunder are set up, man, they're a powerhouse for sure, and definitely a team that can be around for years to come. So the the battle in the West, is has to go through OKC now, and kind of has over the last couple of seasons. OKC fell short last year to Dallas in the semifinals, or the Western Conference semifinals. But man, Oklahoma City is looking really good, and they're looking dominant, especially in that last series where I actually had Minnesota winning that series. But I mean, they just couldn't do anything. There was a lot of up and down, with Ant and Julius Randle, where they would have some good games and then they wouldn't. And the one game they won by 40, and then they didn't win the game after that. So Oklahoma City is definitely one of the best teams at adjusting, making sure that they don't go down or lose 2 games in a row, whatever that might be. But Oklahoma City and Mike Daigneault over there, they just have that squad rolling, and so we'll see what happens moving forward. But I'm excited for the NBA Finals this year. I think it's going to be a good one. And again, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning. I'm kind of going for the Pacers, but I have the Oklahoma City Thunder winning this series in 6 games. So, but that is it. Those are my finals predictions. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think the Indiana can pull up an upset? Do you think that Oklahoma City is going to blow Indiana out? I mean, what do y'all think is going to happen? But y'all let me know in the comments. Also, again, if you have not subscribed, go on and hit that subscribe button right now. I appreciate all the love and support that y'all have given me over the last year, a couple of years, and however long I've been doing this. I think it's been 2 years now. But God is good. I pray for y'all's blessings. I pray for y'all's healing. I pray for God to just do a miraculous work in your life. So, my name is Azlan Williams. This is the Spell Basketball Show with the stats, the facts, and all that. Y'all have a good rest of your day.